Right now, while you are watching this, something is happening inside your head. A quiet calculation. Your brain is asking itself whether to keep paying attention or switch to something easier. That question gets asked thousands of times every single day. And most of the time, you do not even notice it happening. But here is the thing. That tiny, invisible calculation is slowly destroying your ability to do anything meaningful. You are not lazy. You are not broken. Your brain is simply doing what it was designed to do. The problem is that the world around you has learned how to exploit that design. Every app, every notification, every piece of content has been carefully engineered to hijack the same neural pathways that once kept you alive. In this video, we are going to look at what is really happening inside your mind. You will understand why willpower keeps failing you, why discipline feels like punishment, and more importantly, how to flip the switch so that doing hard things starts to feel as good as scrolling through your phone. This is not motivation talk. This is neuroscience. And once you understand how your brain actually works, everything changes. There is a reason why starting that project feels impossible. A reason why you keep choosing the easy thing even when you know the hard thing matters more. And that reason has nothing to do with weakness. Your brain operates on a simple economic principle. Every single action you consider gets instantly evaluated. The question is always the same. What is the best return on energy investment? High effort with uncertain reward? Your brain hits the brakes. Low effort with guaranteed pleasure? Green light. Go ahead. This is not a character flaw. This is ancient survival programming. There was a time when conserving energy meant staying alive another day. Your ancestors could not afford to waste calories on things that might not pay off. But now that same programming is working against you. Because the modern world has been designed by people who understand exactly how your brain works. Teams of scientists have spent years figuring out how to trigger the exact neural pathways that make you feel good with zero effort. Your phone is not just a tool, it is a perfectly engineered dopamine delivery system. And your ancient brain never stood a chance against it. You are not losing some battle against yourself. You are being hacked. And the first step to fighting back is understanding that this is not your fault. But what happens next is your responsibility. There is a tiny cluster of neurons deep inside your brain called the nucleus accumbens. Think of it as your motivation engine. And it runs on a neurotransmitter you have probably heard of. Dopamine. But dopamine does not work the way most people think. It is not the pleasure chemical. It is the wanting chemical. Dopamine spikes when you anticipate a reward, not when you actually receive it. That is why scrolling feels so compelling. Every swipe might reveal something interesting, something funny, something new. So your brain floods you with dopamine to keep you searching. Keep swiping. Keep looking. But here is where things get dark. When you get too many easy dopamine hits, your brain adapts. It is called downregulation. Your dopamine receptors literally decrease in number. Your brain is turning down the volume on satisfaction because it thinks this level of stimulation is the new normal. Now you need more stimulation to feel the same level of interest. A book that once captivated you feels boring. A workout that once energized you feels impossible. A conversation that once engaged you now feels like a chore. You are not losing discipline. You are experiencing a tolerance effect. The same thing that happens with any drug. This is why people who spend hours on social media often feel the most unmotivated. Their brains have been trained to expect constant, effortless rewards. And anything requiring sustained attention feels like punishment by comparison. The effort-to-reward ratio has been broken. Your brain has been recalibrated to crave instant gratification. And real achievement simply cannot compete with that. Not yet. The beautiful thing about your brain is that what can be broken can also be fixed. Neuroplasticity means your brain is constantly rewiring itself based on what you do. Every choice you make is either strengthening neural pathways for discipline or reinforcing pathways for distraction. The question is not whether your brain will change. It is which direction you are pushing it. This is where a dopamine detox comes in. And despite what the name suggests, you are not actually detoxing from dopamine itself. You are removing the artificial, hyper-stimulating sources of it. Think of your dopamine system like a dimmer switch that has been cranked to maximum brightness for so long that normal light looks like darkness. A dopamine detox is about turning down that dial so your brain can remember what normal feels like. When you remove the overwhelming sources of easy pleasure, something remarkable happens. Your dopamine receptors begin to upregulate. They become more sensitive again. Suddenly, activities that seemed boring before start feeling engaging. The satisfaction of completing a task, the energy after a workout, the calm after focused work. These natural rewards start registering again. You are not becoming someone new. You are returning to baseline. You are remembering what it feels like to be driven by internal satisfaction rather than external stimulation. But most people fail at this because they approach it wrong. They try to white-knuckle through it, relying on willpower alone. And willpower is a finite resource. It is no match for a dopamine-starved brain screaming for stimulation. There is a better way. For the first few days, you are going to feel restless, irritable, maybe even anxious. Your mind will keep reaching for something that is no longer there. And every part of you will want to give in. This is not weakness. This is withdrawal. Your brain has adapted to a certain level of stimulation, and now you are pulling it away. The discomfort you feel is actually a sign that the process is working. Your brain is being forced to adjust. The key is knowing that this phase is temporary. Most people give up right before the breakthrough because they interpret the discomfort as a sign they are doing something wrong. But that restlessness is your brain reorganizing itself. So here is what you need to do practically. Start by identifying your highest dopamine activities. Not the things you enjoy most, but the things that require the least effort for the most stimulation. For most people, this is their phone, social media, short-form video content, games. But it could also be junk food, online shopping, or other habits that give you intense pleasure with minimal effort. Whatever it is, that is your target. Now here is the critical part. You do not have to eliminate these things forever. You just need to eliminate them temporarily while your brain resets. 3 days is a minimum. 7 is better. 14 is transformative. But you cannot just remove things. You have to replace them. Nature abhors a vacuum, and so does your brain. Read a physical book instead of scrolling. Cook a meal instead of ordering. Go for a walk without headphones. Exercise without distractions. Journal by hand. Have a real conversation. These activities feel boring at first, but as you persist, your brain starts releasing dopamine in anticipation of them too. You are literally retraining your reward system. There is a crucial distinction that most people miss: the difference between pleasure and satisfaction. Pleasure is immediate and fleeting. It comes from external stimulation and requires no effort. Satisfaction is delayed and lasting. It comes from internal accomplishment and requires effort. Modern life bombards us with pleasure but leaves us empty of satisfaction. That is why you can spend an entire day feeling entertained and still go to bed feeling unfulfilled. Your brain got pleasure, but no satisfaction. And deep down, you can feel the difference. A dopamine detox shifts your focus from seeking pleasure to building satisfaction. And here is what nobody tells you. Satisfaction actually produces more dopamine over time than pleasure does. When you accomplish something difficult, when you push through resistance and come out the other side, your brain releases a cocktail of neurochemicals: dopamine, serotonin, endorphins. This is the feeling athletes call a runner's high. It is what creators feel after hours of focused work. It is the deep contentment that comes from discipline, and it is far more powerful and lasting than any notification could ever be. Studies show that delayed gratification activates the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for planning, decision-making, and self-control. The more you practice delaying gratification, the stronger these neural pathways become. Meanwhile, instant gratification activates the more primitive parts of your brain, the limbic system, which operates on impulse and emotion. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you are strengthening the advanced parts of your brain and weakening the primitive parts. You are upgrading your operating system. Over time, this changes your default setting. Discipline stops feeling like a battle against yourself and starts feeling like your natural state. Let me tell you what waits for you after this process. You will notice your attention span expanding. Things that used to bore you within minutes will hold your focus for an hour. You will feel a clarity of thought that has been missing for years. Ideas will come more easily. Decisions will feel lighter because you are no longer constantly seeking validation through your phone. You will have more energy because you are not riding a roller coaster of dopamine spikes and crashes. And most surprisingly, you will start feeling genuine excitement about things that used to feel like chores. That project you have been avoiding, you will actually want to work on it. That workout you keep skipping, you will look forward to it. This is not toxic positivity. This is your brain functioning the way it was designed to before it got hijacked by algorithms. But here is the truth that people do not want to hear. This is not a one-time fix. Your brain will always try to drift back toward easy rewards. The key is building systems that make discipline the path of least resistance. Design your environment so that distractions require effort, and meaningful work is effortless to start. And remember this, right now, you are not really in control. Your phone controls when you feel bored. Algorithms control what you think about. Apps control how you spend your time. That is not freedom. That is hijacking. True freedom is having a brain that works for you, not against you. So here is what I want you to do. Do not just watch this video and move on. Identify the single highest source of empty dopamine in your life. Commit to removing it for 7 days. Notice the restlessness. Notice when it fades. Notice what fills the space. That version of you who does hard things and loves doing them, they are waiting. And the path to becoming them starts with a single choice.